Last time, we traced the quiet coup that started with a memo, a corporate blueprint that turned democracy into a marketplace, where money votes louder than citizens, where billionaires don't break the system. They are the system. But that takeover didn't start in the 1970s. Democracy has been collapsing long before Lewis Powell picked up a pen. 2,000 years ago, it happened before. A rising superpower, angry citizens, a culture obsessed with fame, wealth, and comfort. Then came the strongmen, the populists, the promises of greatness, paid for with freedom. The birthplace of democracy, Athens, built the world's first experiment in citizen power. It also built the blueprint for how it dies. So before we ask if we can save democracy, we need to understand why it's so good at destroying itself. Democracy wasn't born in America. It began in Athens, 2,500 years ago. Ordinary citizens, not kings or generals, made the laws. They debated, they voted. They held their leaders accountable. And then, just as boldly as it rose, it fell. Not from war, not from outside invasion, but from within. Socrates saw it coming. The philosopher who questioned everything warned that democracy had a fatal flaw. People could be manipulated. In Plato's Republic, he offers a parable. A ship adrift at sea. The passengers are loud, opinionated. Everyone wants to steer, but none of them know how. So they vote for the one who flatters them most, not the one who knows how to sail. And the ship, it crashes. For Socrates, that ship was Athens, a democracy where charisma mattered more than competence, where voters chose leaders who told them what they wanted to hear. The people grew restless. They turned to demagogues, smooth-talking populists who promised quick victories. In 415 BCE, they voted to invade Sicily. It was a disaster. The fleet was destroyed, the army slaughtered. Athens never recovered. They voted themselves into failure, and then they silenced their conscience. In 399 BCE, a jury of citizens sentenced Socrates to death. His crime? Corrupting the youth, disrespecting the gods. But really, he asked dangerous questions about truth, about virtue, about power. A democracy killed its greatest critic. The fall of Athens wasn't just the fall of a city. It was the first recorded death of a democracy. And the reasons sound familiar. Voters led by emotion, not reason. Charismatic leaders promising glory. Fear of dissent. A system too fragile to survive its own freedom. It's not just a Greek tragedy. It's a roadmap. The United States reveres democracy. But if Socrates were alive today, he might recognize the pattern. A public more swayed by personality than policy. Leaders chosen for theatrics, not thoughtfulness. Complex issues reduced to slogans. Critics targeted not with hemlock, but with lawsuits, exile, or erasure. Because democracy's greatest threat isn't war. It's indifference. Socrates warned, democracy dies when citizens stop thinking critically. When popularity is mistaken for wisdom. When comfort wins over truth. Athens didn't fall for lack of laws. It fell for lack of wisdom. And we've ignored that warning ever since. If we want democracy to survive, we have to stop romanticizing it. It's not a trophy, it's not automatic. It's fragile, conditional, entirely dependent on its people. Democracy without wisdom becomes a weapon against itself. And today, we are at a crossroads. Public trust is collapsing. Populism is rising. The loudest voices are often the least informed. This isn't about left or right. It's about understanding that democracy is more than a system. It's a skill. Democracy doesn't guarantee good outcomes. It guarantees that the people are responsible for them. And if the people don't know how to steer the ship, don't know how to spot lies, to question power, to demand competence, then the whole system goes under. Just like Athens. Athens gave us democracy. It also gave us a warning. When citizens trade wisdom for comfort, when the loudest voice wins over the most qualified, democracy doesn't collapse from the outside. It falls from within. That was then. But what about now? Up next in Rigging Democracy, Slow Death or Last Stand. Episode 3, The Democracy Illusion. America calls itself a democracy. But is that true? Or has the word become the myth that keeps us from seeing how power really works?